Okay. Okay, ladies, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight for our check-in. This is our I Will Be a Director by July 1st page. And I know that some of you on here are directors. We asked our directors that all of our directors should re-promote themselves all the time. You can never be complacent. You have to always be re-promoting yourself and growing your business. So I'm very excited that we have a couple of directors on here and some of our directors that will be walking stage on July 1st. And actually, everybody on here, because even our directors on here are new, so they're going to be walking stage. So anyway, the first thing I wanted to do was do a quick check-in with our successes and update on what we're still, maybe what I want to hear from you is what your successes are as far as booking, what you were most excited about, which booking challenge did you feel you really took and ran with and had huge success with? And if you did, what tip can you share with others? Now, if you had other ideas that you did, other things that you did, please share with us because we want to hear that. We want to hear all the ideas we can get. So let's start right up here with, let's start with Allison because she chimed in. So Allison, what's your successes? Tell us your wahoos for this since we started.
I really ran with the Pampering a Business one because that is not something I'd really thought of before. I was, just reaching out to friends about hosting their own parties and not about if, that kind of thing. It's just not, I don't know where Brenda got it, but it's great. So I actually reached out to 4 people that I knew worked in like large companies to try and see if they would be interested. And I booked Costco, which was awesome. A dance studio, a hospital, and one other one, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. Oh, a health insurance company.
Okay.
And I reached out to other people aside from that, but those are the 4 that I booked. And all 4 of them were super excited and they're all big employers. So I really was kind of pushing for big employers to try and get dollars.
Mm-hmm.
The most people that I could reach out to. So that was awesome. And so I am at 8 parties in May because of that. And then I'm working on booking 1 more of those. So a night is what I'm hoping for.
Okay, wonderful. So you really ran with the Pamper Business.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share, Allison?
Now I'm working on June, and I am working on fundraisers for June.
Okay.
Because it's Dance Nationals time, which is I know a lot of people in the dance community, so I'm working on those kinds of fundraisers because dance moms are easy.
And I'll tell you what, they need the money. They do. It's expensive.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just going to make notes because as you're talking, things are coming into my mind that I want to make sure to share. Yeah. And fundraisers. Okay, so let's go right over to Tammy Billings. Tammy, share with us successes, wahoos, ahas since we started.
Well, I talked with a woman last night that sells wine for direct sellers. She had made a comment about basically about robots and different things and fake profiles, and I was just kind of made a joke, and I was like, yeah, I agree. I said, this person sent me a friend request before too. I said, but seriously, tell me about your wine. Because I thought it would be a good Mother's Day present for my mom, which she's now going to get 2 bottles of wine a month.
Wow.
Yeah, which my mom loves wine. But in talking with her, she's like, well, she mentioned she needed stuff for her wine taste. And I was like, well, did you know that Pampered Chef sells wine essentials? We have the electric wine opener. We have the stoppers. got the wine markers and everything, the wine chiller. And she's like, no, you don't. And I said, yeah, I do. I gave her my link. She put in a $80 order.
Wow.
She also put my link on her page for all of her wine friends, all her customers that are buying wine and do the wine tasting, everything, and letting them know that I sell it. So I've been kind of this is a new company coming up. I've been kind of blasting it. I've had a few people reach out to me. They're going to make orders to get, their different things for their wine tasting parties, the Ashwood cheese thing and everything. So that's going to help boost my sales up some. I've got 2 that have mentioned having parties, having like a dual party to where they do like a Facebook party, promote their wine. I can promote Pampered Chef. I don't know how that's going to work, but if I can reach customers and they want to follow up with a party of their own, that's a bonus for me, even if I don't get sales.
Okay.
I am having a vendor party going on right now. It's kind of dead, but I am reaching out to some of the guests there and working on getting some parties. I do have 4 for June already. I do have 8 scheduled for May. Right now, one's a flop. No matter what this girl does, nobody wants to do anything for her. But another thing is I was putting out the Spoil a Company, and a very old friend of mine, she's a manager at a grocery store out in Turner, and I can't think of the name, but she wants to do it. And she actually held a party for me before. So, and she did really good at her party. So we'll go and I'll go make snacks or whatever and drop off and stuff, and she can get sales for at her job. Can't think of the freaking name. It's a small little grocery chain that her parents own.
I think, Amy, I agree. I love that. I mean, I love either Pampered, a big business or even a small business is great. I found when I started, I was a big chicken, Allison. I had to go for this little small business there. I knew somebody. Like, I knew the person there, and I could, connect with them and be like, hey, so you can get, and do it that way. But I love that you went right for the, tip my chair. I love that you went right for the gusto and. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, you keep going, girl.
What's that?
You keep going. I love it. Very creative.
Yeah, no, I'm basically, I'm trying to get creative with just reaching out to old people, new people. I'm reaching out to a lot of people that are in the DS world, just because they have friends that may be interested in Pampered Chef. I may have friends that might be interested in something that they're selling. I sent you that post for when somebody accepts a friend's request or they send me one. I go on their page, send them some love, and hey, if you could return some love on my page, because the more that they like my stuff or I like their stuff, more likely my friends are going to see their posts and their friends are going to see my posts about Pampered Chef. Okay,
and Tammy, you can share that on our director page too, our director by July 1st, what the post that you do. That's a really neat idea.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll make one, but I won't put the name on it because I have my name on it. I shared it with Tammy because we have the same name. And I made some for Becky and Carol and Karen in my group. But I'll put one without a name on it.
Perfect. Okay, so Allison has shared her Wahoos and Tammy has. And Becky, I see your face next. So I'm gonna have you share. What did you take and run with from the group this last week since we've started, and has really worked for you booking your calendar? Because you started out, you really made a jump in your bookings. You did great, Becky. So tell us what worked.
I've just gone back and worked my chicken list, my chicken list.
Okay, can you turn your volume up a little bit back? Now you can't hear you at all. You muted you. There you are.
Wait a minute.
Talk now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're just going to have to listen real close. You talk loud, girl. Don't talk sweet and southern. Talk loud.
I worked my chicken list,
and I got about 2 or 3 parties out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I put the Pamper Your Business on there, but nobody answered me. So I'm not going to give people a chance to tell me no. What I'm going to do is do what they call the pop-up gifts or pop-up businesses. And I'm going to either make brownies or make brownies and chocolate chip cookies, put them in little cellophane bags, take some catalogs. I'm going to put some of the mini catalogs in the bags, and I'm going to take them to all the businesses around town. That way they can't tell me no.
Exactly.
So I've got lawyers' offices,
Turn down brownies and
doctors' offices. So that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And then I had a little wahoo this Saturday when I was at the vendor event. Only 5 vendors were there. It was like a LuLaRoe little fashion show for Safe Shelter. And an older lady came up and ordered the Rock Crock set, the slow cooker set, and one of the Rock Crocks. So she ordered $338 worth of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, that completely shocked me. I'm just not used to that. So that turned into a little party on its own.
Nice.
And I've got 8 parties for May and 4 for June.
And she didn't want to hold a show? She didn't want to book?
No. She
Okay.
she was an elderly lady, and I don't think she knew how to use Facebook, and she didn't want to hold a party.
Okay.
But she took my card, and if she needs anything else, she said she was going to call me.
Okay. Okay, Becky, that's awesome. I know you've really got your May calendar full. I'm excited about that. Christy, girl, you're up. Share with us what you've taken away this last week, what you're running with on the page, because my goodness, the ideas are really flowing on that page. We're ready for you. You're muted, Christy. You got to unmute you.
Okay.
There you are.
Can you hear me? Sorry.
I can hear you now.
This has been a crazy month for me. I have 2 virtual parties going on now, and I have some scheduled for the rest of this month. I have a vendor event this month, and I'm hoping to do a couple of fundraisers this month. I'm running behind on my homework for the director's page, and am working to catch up with that. I like all the suggestions, though. The Pamper Business, the chicken list gives me anxiety. Yeah, it gives me anxiety. But I need to get over myself. So, so that's basically. I've got a wedding going on, end of school. Just life is happening. So so I'm just a little busy and overwhelmed, but I'm sticking with it.
Because you're walking stage. Marilyn is waiting to walk with you.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So what are you going to run with this week, Christy?
Let's see. I don't know. You tell me, Tammy.
Okay. We'll catch you up on the page.
Okay, yeah.
You've got some stuff on the calendar. I'm excited about your May. I'll tell you what. I know that Allison is running with fundraisers for June because she knows a lot of people that are doing the dance thing in June. But if you still are looking to book May, I'm going to encourage you to run with fundraisers in May for these Relay for Life teams, because they bumped out in this area. They bumped out the relay walks later than they used to be, I think. Now, last year they did.
Okay.
They used to be pretty early, and they needed their money fairly early, but they're out further now. So if you're doing their fundraisers, I've always done a ton of relay fundraisers. If you're doing them in May, they can get their checks and have them for their walk. So I'm really going to encourage you to open up your Facebook, go into your friends list, and look at everybody and say, oh, yes, she's on a relay team. Because you know what? You're not asking a whole lot from them. you're saying, hey, let me help you raise funds. I'm going to set this up. I'm going to run it for you. Also, I'm going to ask you to do is invite your friends and family, your relay team, invite their friends and family, and comment and have fun and play games. You're really not asking a lot. You can give catalogs if they want catalogs. Live shows if you do live shows. But if you still need to fill May, that's a great way to do it. And another thing that I want to comment on that while I'm thinking of it is a great post to make and share is, and I always have success with this, is each month I look to sponsor at least 2 organizations or groups to raise funds. The only thing I need is 2 chair people. The job of the chairperson is simple. Invite your friends, interact, and have fun. Let me do the work and help your organization raise money. Comment below which organization you'd like me to sponsor this month. And people would be like, oh, I've got this, I've got this. And really it is that easy. You can even donate back some of your commission if you want, 5% on top of what the company gives, whatever. But fundraisers are profitable. I always have a couple going a month. I encourage you to work those. So Christy, awesome on that. Heather, you are brand spanking new. You had an amazing launch party. You have 6 bookings from there. That was awesome. So you're brand new on the page, but tell us what you are running with to book your May up and go into your June. What do you think is going to work for you?
I'm hoping with a couple of the bookings I have, they're out of my area. So I'm doing virtual parties. And I'm hoping that while they're out of the area, I'll be able to get more business out of those areas, out of Southern Maine. So hopefully that will help me with that. And I'm kind of posting more things on my own personal page, just to kind of get people interested in working still on the breast cancer ones. We have those WHIP things. So I'm working on trying to do that, as well as I'm trying to kind of think outside of the box.
Okay.
So I'm still working on it.
Great. Now I'm really excited about how wonderful your business took off. And I have to tell you something, okay? I'm going to tell you a little bit of something about Heather here. Michelle is Heather's sister, and she's in the group as well. And I was not friends with Heather on Facebook, but she was in my lounge. And to be perfectly honest with you, I see so many people, and Michelle has been a host of mine tons of times. But Michelle signed up to do Pampered Chef. And I didn't have anything to go on, honestly, later, I think it was a day later, Heather signed up with me. Apparently you guys didn't mention to each other that you were signing up, and I didn't make the connection because I had just literally sent Heather a friend request when she said she was interested. So I didn't make the connection, and when Heather got on the team page, she's like, that's my sister. So, and then Michelle messaged me and she's like, Heather's my sister. I was like, I'm getting that now. I see that. One lives in Caribou, one lives in Fulton. So it wasn't like they were right next door either. So I'm thinking, okay, you know what? This can work because they've got some similar connections. But in the Pampered Chef world, you hear it all the time. Oh my gosh, she knows everybody I know. Guys, no excuses, because both of those women had outstanding launch parties. They both booked over 5 bookings each with the same connections, some similar, but they really reached outside of those similar connections, and they really, utilized that. So I was like sitting over here going, we got this.
Us too. We were like, oh boys, it was a little slow start at first, and then we're like, what can we do? And
you both became very outgoing, and I have to tell you, sharing on your pages was the big deal.
Yeah.
Guys, I stalk your pages when you're on my team, and sometimes I'll scroll for days and I will see nothing Pampered Chef. Christy, I stalk you, girl. And and sometimes I won't even see a post in like 3 days. I'm like, wow, did we close or something? So, don't make it a secret. Okay, so let me keep going here. I love the Wahoos. I love that you guys are running with things. There's so many ideas shared on this page. We're going to be sharing these ideas right up until our kickoff for Director Bound. The reason is because you need these bookings on your calendar. If you're thinking of it, well, you are thinking of team building if you're in this group. You need to be in front of the people. If you don't have the bookings, whether they're virtual or live, you don't have enough people to be in front of. So you've got to set yourself up for success. And you've got to run with every one of those parties, and you've got to make them all count, okay? So I want to talk to you a little bit about that. First off, the best tip I can tell you as a future leader or present leader in this company is you're a business person. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. If your May is not booked, do not run with those June things. Do not get everybody excited for what's going on in June. You can pick whatever you want at 60% off, or, finish your May, because human nature, they're going to see a better deal and be like, "Ooh, Heather, I want to reschedule for June." And you're thinking, well, it's still a party. Okay, well, you just missed a paycheck. So you always schedule, fill that May up as full as you can. Then look at June. Now, don't wait until the end of May to fill that May up. You need to be booking June at some point soon. Okay, so don't shoot yourself in the foot. And the other tip I want to give you is share your goals. Okay, when you are booking, don't be shy to let people know what you're going for. Hey, I'm going for a director with Pampered Chef, and what I'm looking for right now is people to help me to get going with my business. I need to schedule 8 shows for May. Who's interested in getting free? So share your goals. Don't be shy to share those. And this is a relationship business, so that's why I say share your goals. One of the things I can tell you that will crash and burn you the fastest in this business is if you're always just slapping up salesy posts and you're not relating to people. So when you're posting on your page, the first post you did as a new consultant was say, "Hey, I'm so excited I started Pampered Chef. I'm going to be getting my kit in pretty soon, blah, blah, blah." Then your kit comes and you posted pictures of your kit. You might even did a live Facebook of opening your kit. Then your posts need to be, you need to have posts on there of what did you cook for supper? What were you using? Do pictures. Oh my gosh, I made this for supper in my rock crock. The family just loved it. Share things like that. It's generate conversation in your page. You respond to them. People say, "I have to have that in my life." Girl, you can earn that for free. Are you interested in hearing some more? Have real conversations with these people. Don't just slap up a cute PicMonkey picture all the time with a sale on it, okay? So those were some tips that I wanted to share with you. Now, going back just for a minute, I wrote down all my notes. Isn't this a nice happy mess of everything I wanted to, as I was listening to you guys, what I wanted to tell you. Okay, pamper your business. I love what Becky said. The thing with Facebook is there's an algorithm. Yeah, did I say that right, guys? And not everybody, y'all froze for a minute. That was interesting. Not everybody's going to see your post. So, Becky, what happened maybe is you're posting, and people just aren't seeing your post right now. Okay? Does that mean that nobody wants free brownies at work one day? Absolutely not. Of course they want free brownies. I'll tell you a little bit about how you can get that algorithm. I'll say that right back in just a minute. But so, step out of your comfort zone. And I can tell you, if Facebook messaging and posting is not working, what are you going to do?
Try another way of contacting them.
Try another method. Does email work? How about texting? What about the phone?
Yeah, no phone.
Kirsty's like, "Oh, please no."
I will say, Tammy, it took me twice posting the desserts at work. it took me twice posting it before I got somebody to actually really respond on it.
What about if you took a post of somebody else's that they shared at the workplace and said something like, "Oh my gosh, this business is so excited they got to be pampered today with brownies and cookies. Who would love this?" You know, I mean, it's a real post. It's not a salesy picture you made up. I mean, who wouldn't love it? So Becky, she didn't get the responses she wanted, so she's just going to show up. Are they going to turn her away at the door? Absolutely not. Now, the algorithm I wanted to tell you real quick before I move on is I was learning this this amazing director that I know named Michael Yoakley. Was watching his page, and he kept asking these questions on his page, and I was like, where's he going with this? Because there's always somebody's always, you know, if you see me post something that's kind of like, you're probably thinking, Tammy's up something. I gotta find out what's behind that post. And people message me. Well, so Michael put on his page one day, what's something that you would never buy the generic brand of? And I'm like, and then I saw it on a few other people's pages, and I'm like, they're going somewhere with this. I need to know what they're doing. So I messaged Michael, and Michael said, you know what? Interactive posts pull people back to your pages. You're not being salesy. It's an interactive post, and Facebook recognizes that, and it pulls people back. So what can you ask people on your page? Which favorite flavor of ice cream? They start commenting about ice cream, and what happens in June? We have ice cream stuff coming. So you are just kind of pulling people back in with that, Becky. So you might need to try doing that. You might need to get on there and ask some of those questions. Just, you know, what's something you wouldn't buy that's generic brand? It's funny the things people say. I'm thinking to myself, really, does that matter? Okay. I love Tammy's ideas for wine for direct sellers. Guys, there's times I just want to be on Facebook and I don't want to work. But I'll be laying in bed, and I call it my stupid scrolling. Because when I'm on my laptop, I'm probably working. When I'm on my iPad or my phone, I'm laying in bed, I just want to read dumb posts and hit like every once in a while. And I just want to just, you know, just to relax my brain. But what happens is I'll be scrolling through, and I see something like Tammy saw, oh, the wine, oh man, they need our wine bottle opener for sure. I mean, and you make that connection. Or I'm scrolling through and I see this rescue site for dogs. And I'm like, oh, they need a fundraiser. Yeah, they do. So I save the post. I save all these posts for my brilliant ideas, because you can click up in the corner, put save post, or you can make a special group all for yourself that says hot ideas for Pampered Chef. You have to add somebody to it in order to make a group, and I'll throw all these hot ideas in there, and then I go back to them. But you can get some, if you are thinking out of the box and you really want to make this business work, always be open for what's coming across your news feed. I'll see things, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can use that. I can use that. Somehow I can use that with Pampered Chef. So I love that. Flops, we're all going to have the flops. And Tammy, you said your vendor party was dead. Have you considered asking each vendor to put a plant in the party?
Nope, but I will.
Okay, somebody that you plant in there that's going to liven it up a little. Ask them all to start tagging their friends in a little bit. So, you know, try all the tricks of getting those going. Becky mentioned chicken list. Does anybody not know what a chicken list is? Okay, chicken list. And I know whether you admit it or not, y'all have a chicken list. Christy has this chicken list 10 miles long. Okay. And I'm going to pick on her because I know she does. The chicken list is when you first get started with the Pampered Chef and you go into PC University, you're asked to make a launch list of all the people that you know that you need to ask to help you start your business. And on our organization page, I have a link that takes you to a Frank's list. And the Frank's list is another list of everybody you need to ask to start your business. But as you're making your list, you're writing it down because Tammy said, you know, write it down. So I'm going to write it down. Papa Smurf, Bugs Bunny, you know, and I had somebody do that once. I'm not even kidding. And you're writing it all down, and you're like, I am not asking her because you know what? She hates to cook. She don't even like to eat, so no, I'm not even going to ask her. And you just move on. That's your chicken list. You came up with an excuse for them before you even asked them. Or you were too scared to ask them because you thought they'd say no. So I want you to get that Frank's list out, and I want you to get that lunch list out, and then I want you to grab a piece of paper, and I want you to transfer all the chickens over to the chicken list on the blank piece of paper. And that's the list you need to contact, because I'm going to tell you every single person I've challenged to do the chicken list has got bookings from the chicken list. Not one person has not gotten bookings from the chicken list. Because you can never, ever prejudge in this business. Ever. You don't know if they just broke a stone and want a new stone, don't want to pay $35 or $37 for the round pizza stone. They want to get it for free instead. You don't know who just wants to do this because they need a hobby and they're, you know, sitting on their phone playing in the coffee shop anyway. So you can't prejudge. So I want you, your challenge this week is to have a chicken list. Everybody on the call tonight, we're going to start talking about it a little bit on the page. I want you to get your chicken list going. And okay, so the next thing I wanted to tell you before, I'm not going to keep you much longer because I did want to just, I'm almost done. So June, okay? Here's what's going to help you book June. Guys, if you're not already working with your current host as a partner, you need to be. It is just as beneficial for her to get sales and bookings as it is for you to get sales and bookings. But she doesn't know that. If she doesn't know that, you know, get their party set up, have their friends invited, start talking to her and get her excited about what she can get. Know your host program. Learn it inside and out. What can your hostess get for free? Half price discount. Oh my gosh, Christy, who can you think of? Can you think of at least 2 people that would love to book a show from you? The reason I ask is because you're going to get all this free stuff and all, you know, your half price and your 60% off item from your show. But when someone books from you, you get a 50% off item at their show when it qualifies. And you know what? In June, we get some new summer products. Wouldn't that be great if they booked a show from you and you could get some of that for 50% off that you can't get now? So get your hostess. The first thing I ask every single hostess, who can you think of that would like to book a show from you? Before your party closes, I challenge you to get 2 of your friends to book a party. That's going to get you 2 extra 50% off items. Okay, and generally, my hostesses are doing just as much work with the bookings as I am. If you have 8 parties in May, and every hostess gets the challenge to book 2 parties, you're double booked for June. They may not be able to afford all those 50% off items and everything at their own party, but if they can space them out, you know, one of their friends has a party maybe at the end of May, or maybe at the first week of June. The next friend has a party the next week. They can space those out through paychecks. They like that idea. Okay? So utilize your hostesses to get future bookings. Always work with your hostess as a team. If there's one thing I can encourage you, it is to learn how to host coach. Don't ever slap a party up and assume your hostess has a clue what you're doing. Okay. So just as a reminder before we wrap up the call, first off, let me ask, does anybody have any questions? Okay, as a reminder before we wrap up the call, I appreciate all of you jumping on to check in and share your Wahoos. I think through sharing we get more ideas. I want to remind you that the directors that have put this together, we want you to succeed. We're putting time into this because we believe in you guys. We believe that you guys can promote, can re-promote if you're already directors. It is a lot of work, and we're willing to do just as much alongside you guys. I never ask my team to do more than what I'm willing to do. So I'm going to ask you all a favor. You're on the call tonight. I appreciate that so much. Please take a minute and go into the page. Do y'all know how to mark it as a favorite in a group? I know you probably have 50 million favorites, right? But I want you to pull out the ones that are going to really grow your business. It isn't your favorite LuLaRoe group. I want you to mark as favorites the one that are really going to matter in your business. This page has a lot of ideas. Mark it as a favorite, because what's going to happen when you mark it as a favorite is you're not going to miss the notifications, okay? You're going to see them. Then I want you to mark on your calendar, whether your electronic calendar or paper calendar, that you're going to check this page and come back at least 5 minutes a day. I know y'all have things to do. I know you're all busy, but I can tell you that this is there's so much inspiration in this page. We're going to have inspirational stuff. We're going to have goal setting things. We're going to have booking ideas. Come back. These posts we asked of you when you first joined to be interactive. Okay? So take a minute. There's 3 posts a day. Most of them ask a question. Take a minute and comment and answer the questions. I promise it won't take much time, but I can also promise you that it's going to make a huge difference in your business. I'm going to tell you a real short story here, and then we're going to let you go. Marilyn Nix. You're going to hear me talk about her a little bit, because Marilyn was probably the shyest person you ever want to meet when I met her. And it was 2013, I believe it was, because at the same time I met Christy. And Marilyn told me forever she was going to walk stage as a director. She was going to walk stage as a director. She told me this so much to the point of I was like, but she wasn't willing to step out of her comfort zone. I mean, she really is a shy person. I finally met Marilyn for the first time in 2014. We'd only met online. We met in Kentucky at a conference. Marilyn told me the next conference she was walking stage. And then she told me the next conference she was walking stage. And then last year we went to conference again, and Marilyn said, I'm walking stage in 2017. And Marilyn's a full-time nurse, 12-hour shifts. The girl is always working. And when she finally decided to put her mind to this director thing, she takes her breaks and she has her phone, because Marilyn doesn't want to work those crazy hours. She wants to be home. She had a paycheck. She promoted to director, by the way. She's walking stage in 2017. She just did it in April. And she's so determined. But what she did was she threw her chicken list out. She doesn't even have a chicken list anymore. She contacted everybody on it. She doesn't have a bubble. She stepped outside of it. It's popped. And you know what? She is the most outgoing, enthusiastic person. And she's like a whole different person, somebody I don't even know anymore. I mean, it's amazing. She's not even shy. So it's been a lot of fun growing with Marilyn over these last 4 years, but I can tell you that she is running with every one of these challenges. She doesn't have a lot of time. Like, she jumps on her break today. I saw her on there on her break. I knew she was on her phone. She said she could only take a few minutes here and there on break because she had a doctor that was zooming the patients in and out at her. So I was like, you work with your patients. We're good. But guys, if your why is big enough, I just want to remind you, because I know Brenda's going to listen to this, and I know Brenda with her whys. Allison, you know Brenda with her whys. If your why is big enough for why you want this, you're going to go for it. So if you haven't examined your why yet, take a few minutes and examine it. Oh, look at that. Did you time that, Christy? I paid that child. I got to send her something. Just as I said, if your why is big enough, in walks Christy's why. Christy's a single mama. And she's gonna do this, because that's her why right there. So thank you guys so much for being on the call. And I'm so excited. I can't even tell you. I'm so excited to work with each and every one of you. You're all such an inspiration to me that you're going for it. And every single one of you are busy. You're busy, busy people. So I appreciate your time. Have a good evening. So excited. I'm going to end our meeting. Let me just stop recording first.